Hi, this is Sports Betting Whale. Thank you for joining the Circle of Whales. I'm delighted to have you joining me on this segment where I'm going to be explaining my money management system and the round robin system so you can see how you can maximize your returns and minimize your losses using the strategy that I'm going to be unfolding for you. It is important to understand that what we're wanting to do is take the cold streaks and go lower and lower on our bet amounts until we get hot. Once we get hot, we're going to accelerate. So this money management system is set up to do precisely that. What we're going to do is to show you how you can take a bankroll that you have that you can comfortably put at risk, you can affordably risk, and divide it up into 5 different betting pools, which becomes your daily betting pool amount. And that goes up or down based on whether we're winning or losing. So let's take $10,000. You have $10,000 to start with. You break it into 5. You have $2,000 betting pools. So you're starting with $2,000 as your daily starting amount. If we win, the next day, your daily starting amount is going to be more than $2,000. If we lose, it's going to be less than $2,000. Every day via the email, I let you know what percentage of that daily pool to take on each round robins. And we will be accelerating the percentages when we're hot and decelerating the percentages when we're low. But keep in mind, even with the percentages going up or down, your daily bankroll is going up or down too. So let's say we're on a cold streak and you start out with 2,000 and we lose. Now you're down to 1,500. Well, I'm probably going to lower the percentages of the 1,500 as well. So you lose again. It continually will be lower and lower dollar amounts that you have at risk until we catch some pattern flows and go up. At that point, we may say replenish, and you go back to the size it up to the $2,000 again, or we'll just hit a round robin to get your daily pool up. You know, either way, depending on how strong we're feeling about the plays each and every day and how the patterns are forming. So let's talk about the fun part. Let's talk about the acceleration part. So you start with $2,000 and we have a couple down days, you're down to 1,500 and then you hit one. Now you're probably up to $2,800, $3,000. That becomes your betting amount for the next day. If we accelerate the percentages and we win, the 3,000 can very easily be 12, 15,000 the next day. At that point, you're up substantially. What do you want to do? What I recommend is you go ahead and if we're have any losses up to that point, you go ahead and recover them times 2. So let's say we're down $2,000, put 4 back into the treasury, bank the 4. So your new daily amount becomes your win amount minus the amount you've locked away. So that becomes the moving target. We win again. Now you're at $20,000. Take 5 of it, bank it. Now your new pool is 15. So that's how we're going to accelerate and take money and take chips off the table as we go. Now, next time, let's say we go ahead and we run it up and then you've banked money 3, 4 times and then boom, collapse. Day 5, lose them all. You now have more money to work with to start with. So at that point, you can go ahead and start, instead of starting with 10 divided by 5, you could have 20 divided by 5, and your new betting pool would be 4. What I would suggest, though, is that you've at least put some money back. The whole goal is to get to the point where your betting pools are all house money. That's going to take a couple of nice little runs to get you to where you're way, way up, and we look forward to doing that. If you look through the patterns of the wins and losses, you see that there's a lot of times I hit, a lot of times I don't. This system will, again, maximize the return for you when we're hitting, minimize it when we're not, and at the end of the day, you're going to be ahead. What I want to talk to you now about is the all-important money management, bankroll management system here that I use and that I want everybody else to consider using as well, because what it does is it takes the cold streaks and minimizes the loss during that period, and it takes the hot streaks and maximizes the wins during the hot periods. You just experienced a hot period where everybody was up 5, 6, 7, 8. I was up 15, more than 15 to 1. I think close to 20 to 1 in a 4-day period. You want to be able to maximize that, but you don't want to be risking every single dollar that you have as you're progressing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a system based on your risk tolerance, and I want to talk about how this system works right now. A round robin bankroll should be a small, affordable amount that you can replenish 5 to 10 times if necessary. This system is designed to run an affordable amount of money into huge possible returns. So you want to do, if you have a non-replenishable bankroll, you want to divide it by 5. Each unit, when we talk about units, a unit is a percent of the day's starting bankroll. So 1 unit is 1%, 2 units is 2%. For example, $1,000 bankroll betting on round robin by 3s and 4, bet 2% of 1,000 on each of the 5 parlays, if you had 1,000 in your daily pool. Okay, so I'll give you an example. You have a $1,000 starting pool. You go ahead and the whale recommends that you bet 2 units each on a parlay. That would be 2%. If it's a 3s and a 4, that would be 10% of that $1,000. So you're betting $100 of your 1,000. If it hits, it's going to pay back between 600 and 900, depending if it's favorites or dogs, and then that profit will be added to your daily pool the next day. Let's say it loses. So now you've gone from $1,000 to 900. So you're taking the percentages based on 900 the next day. There will be examples where there'll be waves, where there's multiple time slots, especially on a weekend, and we'll be sending them to you in waves. What you do there, if you want to, it's a little more complicated, but you'll adjust your bankroll after the first wave of games, and that becomes your new bankroll for the second waves. If that's too complicated for you, then just stick to the beginning daily amount and use that on all of your plays throughout the day. I myself like to accelerate during the day, and if I hit something, I'll put more on the afternoon and evening games, and if I don't, I'll put less. Okay, always remember that a round robin system is a low risk, high return system. It's not a straight up grind system, so you're going to have ups and downs. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, but at the end of the roller coaster ride, if you follow the system and we've caught at least one streak during a period of time, you're going to be up. The bankroll should be small, affordable amount that you can replenish 5 or 10 times if necessary. So on the replenishment conditions, condition 1, your bankroll is deteriorated so low that a minimum parlay or an acceptable minimum parlay for you cannot be made. Example, you started with $1,000 and we caught a terrible cold streak and you're down to $40. So at that point, you'd want to replenish to at least bet enough that the minimum that is required to bet on a parlay, or if you don't want to bet anything under than $10 a parlay or $20 a parlay, replenish to that point. The second example and condition would be when the whale advises full replenishment. That's when really confident about those days' games and want you to take advantage of it. So I want you to go ahead and replenish so that you can maximize the return on those days' slates. There'll be times where I can see that some patterns have formed, and even though we missed on the last couple of days, I'm very confident that that day is going to be a winning day, and I'll recommend a replenishment on those days.
Okay.
Well, one of the examples also on the condition 2 where I advise full replenishment, I may have a straight up game that is, I consider a 90% or better play probability of winning, and I want you to take advantage of that. So usually these are round robins, but every now and then I'm going to throw in a game that the stars align and I just can't see any real possibility of it not coming in. So those are situations where we might be advising full replenishment as well. Now we're going to talk about withdrawal strategies. On the withdrawal strategies, when we get hot, you're going to want to take your money back that you started with, maybe double or triple that, and bank it and put it away. That could be for future bankrolls, or it could be just go ahead and take your profit and make it where where you're playing on house money from then on, and they can't get it back. I've done that many times in my career, and it's a great feeling. So when we're ahead and you're ahead, you're going to want to take some of the money aside, and then you're going to decide, okay, when you go back to how much do you want to start again with, you can start with a higher amount than you started with last time because you have extra money. And you may want to, if you're aggressive and want to really run it up, you may want to take that new amount and divide it by 3 next time around for the amounts that become your daily bankroll. And if you're highly conservative, then stick with the division of 5, even though you're using house money at that point. One of the things that's always important though, the goal here is to not only win money, but to bank it. Get it into your bank account, invest it, buy something with it, lock in your wins. That's where we're going to be soon. We were very close to it recently, and you'll see going forward that you'll have consistent streaks where you're going to be able to put away money and never let the casinos have the chance to get it back. So for example, back in the days when I was able to take a lot of action, I often would take as much as 2/3 off the table and start over with the 1/3. Even if I hadn't lost, if I feel like the streak had gone on long enough and I was real comfortable with the winnings. For example, if I'd won $300,000 in a one weekend, and early on that was a big deal to me, I might go ahead and put $200,000 away and make my new pool $100,000, and if I was feeling aggressive, I would divide that by 3, so my daily bet amounts would be $33,000. If I wasn't feeling as aggressive, the daily pool amount that I would work off would be 20. But I would have taken that $200,000 and locked it up, gone, see ya. So those are all examples of how you're going to take money as we go and bank it. So that's a part of the system. So you've got a starting replenishable bankroll that you're going to break down. It's going to be an affordable amount that you can afford to lose in stages until we get hot. You're going to replenish under the conditions that your bankroll has gotten down to the point where that daily pool is so small that you need more money to even bet a reasonable amount, minimum amount. Condition 2 would be where I see a game or a series of games that are so positive and so strong that I don't want you betting the minimum amount on it. I want you to bet a regular amount on it, and I'll let everyone know it's time to replenish. Withdrawal strategies, you're going to want to take money back as you go, bank it, put some aside for future bankrolls if needed, and then decide how aggressive you want to be with that future bankroll. So we'll be sending this all out, email, and posting it online on our website, thewhalepicks.com, so you can see how this all plays out. But if you use this system, use the round robin approach, maximize the hot streaks, minimize the cold streaks, at the end of the roller coaster ride, you're going to be up and you're going to be banking money and you're going to have a lot of fun. That's what I want everyone to do, and we're going to take a lot of effort in making sure that we explain it carefully and work with everybody that's coming in as a client. This money management system and round robin bankroll system that I'm talking to you about is a system I've used since I was 23 years old, and I've played around with it a lot to see how I maximize the return without losing my bankroll during the cold streaks. I don't want to be out of action. I always want the potential to run back up if I've gotten cold. So I don't go so aggressive that if I have a couple bad days, I'm done. You need to be able to withstand a couple bad days or even a couple bad weeks and still be in play for those great runs that come that are 2 to 7 day runs where you win big every night, and you really have a huge multiplier effect on it. This is the system that I started with $1,000 and ended up with millions using this approach. Again, that was back when there was really no limits on how much could be played on it. It's more limited now. It's harder for me to do something like that. You may be able to do it, but also again, you may be very excited about running up low thousands into 100,000. That's a big win for everybody, and whatever your goals are, this system can help you get there and also keep you in play during the cold streaks. Really look forward to you trying it, seeing how well it works, and giving us some feedback.